Hey, everybody. Yo.
What's up?
Welcome to the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. I am the armchair quarterback, Dizzle, and I'm here with the wrestling historian, the man with the biggest brain on the planet, Dutchie. Yo. And I'm here with the man that puts the E and everybody gets a spot on the card, Eric.
What up? How are you guys? It's Friday.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, for this show, everybody did get a spot on the card unless you were pregnant or had been in the ring with Ronda Rousey the previous month.
If you wrestle Rousey, you're fucked. Alexa Bliss can tell you all about that.
Yeah.
This is a fun one, and we get to talk about WWE Evolution. That's why we're here today. The first ever, because we have Evolution 2 coming up, the second ever pay-per-view surrounded the women. And I'm expecting this year's one to be really good because you got some really good girls nowadays that are killing it. And some really incredibly talented ladies. Like, there's some women carrying the company. So Rhea Ripley's match is like a main event attraction. So you can do a whole pay-per-view around that now. And you kind of could then, and they tried, and an interesting main event we got, and we will talk all about that. But the first ever, and that's funny, boys, because we talk about the biggest, to me, everybody talks about a big fight feel. Like a big fight, and I think it's only truly been done like 5 times. To an actual epic scale, that big fight feel.
Yeah.
Like Nash and Goldberg's one that had that big fight feel.
Sting and Hogan.
Sting and Hogan had it. Hogan Andre had it.
Hogan Andre.
Rock and Austin 17 had it.
Yeah. I'll tell you another one that kind of had
15.
Huh?
No, not quite.
I would say 15. No.
There's too much attitude era nonsense going to have a big fight.
What about Warrior and Hogan from
And
6?
Rock wasn't the stud he was yet. He wasn't the beloved babyface. He was just the corporation bad guy. Go ahead.
Warrior and Hogan from 6.
Yeah. That arguably could get it. But my fifth one was going to be Punk and Cena.
I mean, that definitely had a big fight feel to it.
I think in the modern era, nothing has had a big fight feel like that.
Right.
Cody and Roman kind of got there, but there was more about story. There was so much story to it that there was a spectacle to it. But I don't like the true big fight feel. When Nash and Goldberg, you can say what you want about Starrcade 98, and you can say the finish might have killed WCW. I will disagree with that till the day I go down. But when Goldberg and Kevin Nash both walk into that building and you hear the crowd and shit, and you see the crowd, and you're like, okay, this is something big. This is the Super Bowl. This is Streak versus the Wolf Pack. This is something nuts. And they did a great job at that. And they made that a big fight feel. Do we think that this main event of Evolution, do we think that stacks up with those guys?
No. Here's the funny thing. Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella at the time, she wasn't dating John Cena anymore, but she was still very highly regarded because her stepfather still had a high-ranking executive position.
Mm-hmm.
Her brother-in-law was beloved, and she just, she basically, she drained John Cena's balls long enough to get herself a prime spot. And we know that you're not really wrestling anymore, but if you want to wrestle, if you want a main event Evolution, it's cool. And Ronda Rousey was just a huge star at the time from her time in MMA. But now her wrestling run sucked. But that's because after the match with her and Kurt versus Triple H and Stephanie,
yes,
where everybody could guide her and tell her, this is what you have to do, and she respected everybody enough to do so. Everybody else was just like, she just kind of wanted to do her own thing. She wanted to be that MMA badass who, because in MMA, you don't have to sell shit. Because in MMA, you get legit knocked out.
Yeah.
Okay. And she does not do good. The only thing she's good with as far as fate goes is probably orgasms.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how that Travis Brown or whatever his name is doing.
She could probably kick his ass.
He's a fighter himself, and he's a fellow bald guy with a beard, Doug. So
Yeah, well, that's how I know he's shit.
well, didn't he strike down that dude? Or wasn't he one of the guys that reprimanded that dude that attacked Bret Hart?
Yeah,
That was so ass at the Hall of Fame thing.
yeah. When and then Natalia's like, "It's time for us to finish our speech."
Well, dude, I mean, there's not. I mean, they got interrupted.
Well, yeah, I know they got interrupted, but it's just like that Evolution main event. It wasn't good because you have one of the most selfish bitches in wrestling taking on one of the most reckless and dangerous and unsafe bitches in all of combat sports.
Yeah, I don't feel that similar to that actually, because I agree with the Rousey take. Nikki, I think, is in the top 5 performances on this card. If we're being honest, I think Nikki is actually, if you think of all the girls that work their asses off on this card to put on a good match, I think Nikki is the only one trying to make that a big fight feel and trying to make that a really good wrestling match and a solid main event that people would pay money to see. Nikki was nothing right, and Rousey was just great. She had a great match at WrestleMania with Triple H and Stephanie and Kurt and that. But we will get more into that later. We'll talk more about the main event, obviously.
Do you guys think
that's a different one? Start with the main event. Go ahead, Eric.
Do you guys think this should have been the other way around? Flip flop the 2 title matches.
I don't know, because Becky and Charlotte went a little long. I mean, Becky got a really nice babyface reaction, even though she was a heel.
Yeah,
heel. I know, right?
That was a crazy one, but it's also like people weren't cheering for Charlotte.
Well, yeah, nobody likes Charlotte,
so that was a good ad.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were booing in 2018 too. I forgot that.
And that's the thing is that like Charlotte even back then, and a lot of a lot of the shit with her, and she's just really just integrated it into her character to where like I'm the greatest women's wrestler of all time and all that, because now she's trying to get, because even though she doesn't really understand why people hate her, now, I mean, if she looks at her father's X account, she should realize that, because here's a man who drinks before he speaks. You're supposed to think before you speak. Flair said, "Woo, I'm going to drink before I speak." And that's like, so she just, a lot of the hatred, I think, towards her. I mean, personally, I don't like her. And the reason why I don't like her is because of her father. All right. It's got nothing to do with that. I mean, she's okay in the ring. I do think she can be selfish, like the match at WrestleMania with Tiffany Stratton. I felt like, it was an up-and-comer versus somebody who got told 20 minutes before they went out there, "Hey, you're doing the job." And she sandbagged Tiffany as much as she could.
Yeah, because we watched that together, remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I remember the red thong you were wearing, and I remember the blue lace that I was wearing.
God, well, I guess Cher was in for a treat when she was watching it, huh?
I was gonna say,
we won't talk about what she was wearing.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Thank God I was in Atlantic City with the high rollers.
Yeah, that match was shit.
Let's get it. First of all, before we really get into this pay-per-view, and I don't hold Ric Flair. Charlotte's. It's not that I'm not a fan of Charlotte. I think she's a good heel. The babyface shit doesn't make sense to me.
No.
I think she's a good heel. I just think she's a little overrated. I don't think she's the best women's wrestler to do it. But she does put on good matches, and she's athletically very gifted. But is there any other time period that we think that this pay-per-view could have took place besides in 2018? Do we ever have a strong enough roster to put on a pay-per-view?
No, because up until this point, I mean, you may have been able to try something in like 2016.
Yeah.
But, back in the, in the ruthless aggression and then the start of the PG era, it was all about, pretty girls. And I'm not saying that none of these girls, because a lot of these girls are beautiful. Okay.
They are beautiful.
I mean, especially now, like you have Tiffany Stratton, and I do think Raquel Rodriguez is attractive, and I like Lyra Valkyria, and Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea Ripley,
Nia Jax.
You
guys are peace.
But there's a lot of attractive. But back then it was. See, now it's you can be attractive and still know how to work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back in the day, 15, 20 years ago, you either were attractive or you knew how to work.
Well, the women have masterminded it now today, and that's why I'm excited, because 2018, I still don't know if it was strong enough yet. Right now, with their current roster, 100% they could do a women's pay-per-view. They could do a women's weekly show if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
They have the chicks. And even if they just wanted to get back some of the chicks they released, they have the females, and they're good enough workers. So they could easily. Now is the time to do it. Now is it's the perfect time. I mean, not with Liv getting hurt. It sucks that one of the most contributed, like she deserved to be in one of the main spots. And the fact that they had 3 different storylines, we've talked about that. But it sucks she can't be involved. But Rhea Ripley's a big-time attraction. Bianca's out, too. That sucks. But Jade's a big-time attraction. You got Tiffany.
I bet you they're going to try to tell Bianca, Liv's out, you're in, and, put some protective stuff on those digits. Because Bianca's out because she broke her fingers.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, just put, like, little protective sleeves or whatever the fuck you can on those digits. You're working the pay-per-view. Like I could see somebody telling her that. And then I can see that person getting his nuts chopped off with her braid. But
I think that you kind of have, to me, the main event makes sense to run Io and Rhea back, especially since Liv's out. You do Io and Rhea. She finally gets a shot to beat her. She's never beat her. You have a clear story there. They have great chemistry. They've showed it. That's a great way to close it. That is way better than Ronda Rousey, Nikki Bella. That is a wrestling.
100%.
That is a great main event. Yeah, they've done it on Raw, but they could do a 30-minute epic between those two if they want.
What about? And this is just me spitballing. What about Becky and Bayley in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title? I mean, they're kind of the two of the pioneers of the.
I like it for the main event though, or just on
for the main event.
It would elevate the IC title too.
Yeah, that's how you elevate that title.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Now,
good idea.
And I didn't say add Lyra to it, even though I wouldn't mind that. But you need to do Lyra needs to win the belt back in a singles fashion.
Becky and Bayley ladder match main event, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
and that would give Razor Shawn vibes.
Yeah, because these were two women who kind of came up in the developmental system together.
The Four Horsewomen's a lot like the Clique.
Yeah. So you could do something like that. Now, will they? I don't know.
That's a great dude. You should. That was an amazing. I like it. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, at first you were looking at me like,
no, at first I was, and then it took Eric to say it out loud, and I was like, that is fucking.
I love it.
Yeah, and then
two of them are my favorite. So
Yeah, but then as soon as I said, don't add Lyra to it, but you could.
No.
And then you're just like, no, you're fucking it up. Shut up.
I like Lyra, but that's like a big money main event. Like, because for the main event, you want it to feel special. And this is a paper for these women. This is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This is WrestleMania. And I know it's arena show, but this is still their WrestleMania. This is a big event for a lot of them. And two women, Bayley, who's never really gotten her just desserts, should be in the main event. That's how you elevate that title and make that title mean something. And poor Zelina Vega, but
she's gonna be jobbing to Julia.
Yeah, but that is the way to go. At first, I was like, well, I mean, world title goes on last, pal. That's fine. Yeah, come on. It's that's the tried.
The Intercontinental title, and now again, the Intercontinental title has not, a version of the Intercontinental title has not main evented a pay-per-view or a PLE since I think it was it Extreme Rules 2018 when Dolph and Seth did it?
Yeah, I think so. So it's been done, but for the women, I mean, if you do that after
Becky Lynch is your biggest star.
That is no Rhea beats her. The man was never, even at its highest peak, the man has not made the commerce that Mommy has, in my opinion. We'd have to actually go through numbers and everything, but as far as actually being over, and again, armchair QB, I don't know shit about being over, but I'm not even over with people.
Yeah.
But Becky Lynch had a moment as the man, and people were really fucking with her. She deserved that WrestleMania main event and all that. But Rhea Ripley has had a moment, and kind of when Rock was backstage, and I know we say various things about The Rock, but The Rock is, on that board. And when Rock gave her a hug backstage on his Instagram thing, and he's on his live, and he's like, "Thanks for carrying the company." That's not bullshit.
Right.
Besides, like, Cody is the face and everything, but Mommy's right there, number 2, in my opinion. It's like them doing CM Punk and Roman when Roman's around. And it's those four, like, what brings people to the WWE.
Go ahead.
No, that's a good cap off. You go ahead.
So apparently WWE, they were going to take the women's tag titles off of Liv and Raquel because, Liv is hurt. Now that's just like, you know what? Let's keep the titles around. So, like, the perfect way to kill those fucking belts, and Triple H is just like, nah. He's pulling a Vince where it's just like, finally, the fans get what they want, and the belts are gone, and he's just like, I don't think so, pal.
Well, imagine that Evolution 2 main event, Bayley hitting that elbow off the ladder.
Yeah,
that would be a great. That would be a good, and that could like really cement Bayley's legacy.
Yeah. Now, like a couple other things I kind of want to see. Like, obviously, we're going to see. I mean, judging by the way things are going in NXT right now, it looks like it's probably going to be Jordan Grace versus dog shit JC Jane for the NXT Women's title. So when you have to pee, do it during that match.
Yeah. And
like
Jordan Grace is awesome. By the way.
Jordan Grace is fantastic. Dog shit is not. And I'm sure that we're gonna get something from obviously Julia and Zelina Vega.
Yeah, and that could steal the show.
Yeah.
Well, it could be a good match.
Probably, because Nia won't leave Tiffany the fuck alone.
I don't know. I'm thinking Tiffy Jade still, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean,
tonight.
And what's funny is the fact that, like, I'm talking shit about it, but Nia is like the best heel on SmackDown that they have in the women's division, as far as, she does not know when to mind her own fucking business. She's a female Baron Corbin that could work and that can actually
Well,
because she doesn't get go away heat. She gets the oh my god, you are such a fucking bitch heat.
She is Lady Big Show.
Yeah,
She is forever Lady Big Show because Big Show was good too. But there was times where he was overrated. There's times he was underrated. Big Show had a weird career. She's had a weird career. She's Lady Big Show. It's just the way, and just like, and in storyline, you've said it many times. Big Show didn't mind his own fucking business either.
Yeah,
Big Show always fucking involved himself in other people's shit, just like Nia Jax.
Yeah.
She is truly Lady Big Show.
But her and Tiffany have really good chemistry,
and that's a compliment.
So that's why, even though probably nobody wants to see it again, you know you're going to get a good match.
That SmackDown match was great.
Yeah. So Monster, when you bitch about this in about 6 hours, oh god damn it, we're going to get another Nia Tiffany match at Evolution. It works because they have really good chemistry together. So you Orange Cassidy looking pencil neck fucking geek who only does streams when he knows SmackDown is going to suck. He refuses to do a SmackDown review when the show is good because he'd rather just fucking bitch about it. And I know you're gonna bitch about Tiffany and Nia. The match is gonna be good. Shut the fuck up. But I am a big fan. I watch the streams all the time.
Yeah, that's what to say. You're a listener, but that's hilarious.
His partner on Tuesday did a bitch too.
Start a little beef.
Oh yeah, JD from New York.
Oh, I can't stand that guy anymore.
We like JD.
I used to be a fan, but
yeah,
he bitches more than him.
I still think we could get Jade and Tiffy, and that's the direction I kind of hope they go.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see. What do you think Alexa's gonna do?
Charlotte. I mean, the match is going to be Charlotte. And, the match is going to be Charlotte and Alexa.
You knew what you meant.
It's funny. I'm the one that said everything. All Doug said was a name, and he's the one that defended it right away.
All right. And now here's the big question: are they only going to do 5 matches, as is Triple H's booking, or are they going to do like a full
and try to
7-8
fit
match
everybody
card?
on the card?
Yeah,
that's an interesting point because the Triple H soon.
July 13th.
Oh wow, that is a big weekend in wrestling.
Yeah, so it's gonna be the night. It's gonna be the night after Goldberg wins the world title.
Goldberg's not winning the world fucking title.
Well, it's probably not planned for him to, but you know damn well he's gonna throw the biggest fucking bitch fit.
Dude, if it's 20 seconds and he beats Gunther, and then that'll be fucking insane. No,
and then on the other side you got Moxley winning the title against
Hangman.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be Hangman because that's Darby Allin's spot.
No, it's not. Damn it! They got the whole. No. Listen, Will Ospreay is invested. Will Ospreay is putting the team. We got the Avengers going, and we're gonna save Hangman. And I like the story they're doing there.
Oh, I like it too. I'm just saying is that
they're kind of just stealing the Cody shit, but I like it. But the Moxley shit, it works because Roman was a great heel that was over to, so that story worked. But this, John Moxley's been a shitty heel and doing bad work. So they're trying to save the company in real life, but they're doing it through the thing.
Well, the thing is,
and it's kind of a funny, and the fact Will Ospreay is even you're the reason we suck now. We need you to not be champion anymore.
Well, and here's the funny thing. If you go back to, I think, if you go back to December or November or December, Darby Allin asked Will Ospreay for help against the Death Riders. And Will Ospreay goes, well, bruv, I need to win this tournament. Or I'd probably fuck up the accent, so I'm just going to do it in English. or an American. But I need to win this tournament. Deal with the Death Riders on your own. After I win the Continental Classic, then you can ask for my help.
Yeah.
So this whole now, you were 6 months ago, you could have helped and you could have gotten rid of these fuckers. But you couldn't be bothered then because you were going into you're entering a tournament that Kyle Fletcher was going to kick your ass in anyway because he's better than you.
That's a hot
But
take.
now it's like, oh, now I want to put the squad together. And it's just like the company's already fucking like they want Tony Khan thinks the perfect story is Darby Allin. Everybody just wants the fucking title off Jon Moxley. The main problem I have with Jon Moxley, and yes, there's a side problem of his people suck. The main problem I have with Jon Moxley is the fact that I think they're trying to get murder over in wrestling. Now, if that's now, because like you put the plastic bag over Bryan Danielson's head a couple times, you fucking tried to pour fucking brake fluid down Orange Cassidy's mouth. You threw Darby down 55 stairs. It's just like they're trying to, we'll fucking severely. You're trying to fucking kill people.
We're being edgy.
If you want to try, first of all, murder in a sport that is technically, I mean, it's not real, but it's like, it's hard to script murder in something when that is basically live every week.
Yeah, but dude, TNA did it a bunch.
Yeah, and they haven't done it since they brought Eric Young back from the dead. Because Eric Young was killed off so he could rejoin WWE because Vince was no longer there. Vince forced his way back in. And
you're like, there's 15 jokes.
Yeah, there is.
Trying to do that.
I'm high roading here. Vince forced his way back in, and Eric Young's like, bye. And Hunter was just like, well, I thought you wanted to come back. He goes, I don't want to work with that fucking asshole. But like, so I get it. Like,
what about Paul Bear getting put in the concrete?
And then he did come back.
Yeah, he got submerged though.
Yeah, it's just it's stupid.
Yeah,
like when you kill somebody off, they have to remain dead. Like, Vince, when he blew up in the limo, his exact words to Bruce were, "I can't be on TV if I'm dead." And it's just like, okay, well, do it for real. But
something else. I get it though. That point is, there's not really a need for it. You can keep stories and characters and stars. Your goal is to build stars. I get if you're getting rid of somebody, but usually they want to go get professional wrestling is an industry. I get like opera and movies, and since it's like a soap operas kill people all the time. Why can't we kill people? I get it, but it's an industry where a guy usually goes to a different company and gets more work. So when you're killing them on TV, Vince usually just kills you on TV by making you lose to Brooklyn Brawler or somebody, or make you look like a jabron a few weeks before your contract's up. But
when you tap out
physically, doing that, killing off a character is kind of stupid.
Well, and you talk about soap operas. There used to be a soap opera called As the World Turns. And one of the main villains on As the World Turns was a character by the name of James Stenbeck. Most evil man on the planet. I used to watch the show back in the day. Do not judge. Or judge if you might, and whatever. Most evil character on the planet. They killed him a handful of times, but he always found a way to fucking come back. The only time he did not come back after they killed him was when the actor who played him died. Okay.
If they would have pulled that off, that would have been fucking crazy.
Well, they actually tried. So they actually had a guy. They had a guy who pretended to be like he was reincarnated as somebody else, or he was reincarnated in another body. And then it's just like, just kill the fucking character. Like I get it. Like
the guy's actually dead.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah, it's just like you don't need the character to come back. And then, I think he was finally, done, done after a while anyway. But yeah, like they still found a way to fucking bring him back.
All right. What did we think of the Rockstar chicks at the beginning of the show?
I like Nina Stroud.
You're a fan.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was.
She could pluck my strings any day.
Oh, okay. I thought it was all right. I thought it was very like women. Hell yeah. And it's like you got a chick playing the guitar and everything, and it was cool. But you had all the videos throughout the event, of old women superstars saying how magical this was and how special of an evening it is. And you always know how special a wrestling event is when they keep telling you. And
I went straight to the match.
Yeah, Eric skipped it.
You sexist pig.
He doesn't care about any of this shit. All right.
I just went to get on and watch the show.
I understand.
Money E Usayo.
Do it. Don't break anything. Be careful. All right. We have
It was a light yeet.
Alicia Fox and Mickie James against Trish Stratus and Lita, the OGs.
Okay, so I've never really had a problem with Alicia Fox. I think she's one of those zany characters, and she's crazy and all that.
Yeah, she was interesting doing that.
Yeah,
stuff.
but the thing is that you go from Alexa versus Trish in a dream matchup to medical telling Alexa you can't compete in a singles match because you're still fucked up from when that baboon face bitch Ronda Rousey, tried to kill you. To where I can't help it, she's ugly. But like, so now you got to work a tag. It's going to be Trish and Lita versus Alexa and Mickie. And then you get told a few days beforehand, it's like, you can't even work a fucking tag match because Ronda fucked you up so bad. So now we got to plug Alicia Fox in there. And how do you think the people in Long Island felt? They're like, oh, we're going to get this great match. Okay, well, we're going to get a tag match. We're getting Alicia Fox instead of Alexa Bliss.
And she is kind of the weak link in this, and she even fucks up a spot at the end. But the whole time I was watching this, I just found myself going, especially when Trish and Mickie locked up. I was like, why didn't you just do Trish and Mickie?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just find a way? Why didn't she just go against the lackey? Why did you have? I mean, Lita looked fine here, and it's not. Lita was always good, and she's good here, so it's nothing against Lita. But Trish and Mickie was always on the table. That could have always happened. Why not just do that? That didn't make sense to me. Because those two have a long-standing rivalry that goes back. You could have easily went back to that. It wasn't really necessary to plug Alicia in. And she is the one of the four that they'll probably put her in the Hall of Fame anyway, but she's the one that shouldn't be in.
She'll probably go in before Mickie.
Yeah, but she's not a character that deserves it.
Well, none of
right.
I mean, yes, she's going to get put in probably before Mickie, especially now because she's working in TNA now I think it's under her real name, Victoria.
I'm surprised Mickey's not in it already.
Her zany stuff was interesting, and she did some fun character work, but it was never show-stealing stuff, and she never put on a great match. She was athletic, and she could kind of go a little bit, but she was, she was another one if they maybe gave her more time in her matches. Yeah. But she would also, she kind of flubbed a little bit.
Yeah.
At times. At least it seemed like that. I just wasn't a huge fan of her work. And she's the one out of for that really sticks out like a sore thumb. And the fact that Mickey was regulated to just being like muscle for Alexa is crazy. That's a woman that has never been treated correctly by the wrestling business, WWE specifically.
Absolutely.
But she deserves Hall of Fame next year.
Yeah, it's just again, she keeps getting passed up for Michelle McCool.
She should already be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm sure Undertaker has a lot to do with it because, he loves his wife and he wants his wife to be remembered and all that. By the way, he'd be the first wrestler to actually love his wife.
Real quick, and I love the entertainment, and I know it's just entertainment. That everything that happened on screen and the stuff with Michelle and Mickey, that's all entertainment, and I realize that. But it's gotta suck being replaced as like a coach or being replaced on a TV show, getting a gig, and they get replaced by the chick that was calling you a pig on national television. It's just kind of
who do you think she blames more? Do you think she blames Michelle or do you think she blames Mr. Michelle?
Well, and I don't think she gives a shit. I think she sees it as business, and she's a professional, and we're just marquee fans that give a fuck about that shit. But she keeps it pro, and she goes to live on another day. She's always found work because she's a talented, fucking great, professional.
Yeah.
But that's my point. She deserves all the spots and everything. She doesn't deserve getting sent her shit in trash bags and stuff like that.
Which, by the way, that was rectified because Mark Carano, who was a longtime employee in the talent relations division, because he was technically the one that sent all the stuff because he was stupid enough to sign the fucking card.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're going to do something that degrading, the name you should put on there, Bruce Pritchard or Michael Hayes.
Not your own.
Do not fucking, or make up a name. Say it was fucking done by Brad Armstrong. Because, Stephanie McMahon and Vince McMahon are stupid enough to still think that Brad Armstrong is still alive.
But Mickey's somebody that had a hell of a run on the independents. And she had a hell of a run in TNA. And when she came in with the whole like lesbian stalker thing for like the last thing before they went PG and her thing with Trish, that was one of the last great women's storylines before the women's revolution and all that. That was like right up there with her stuff with Trish. That was a really like Trish gained a new rival in the later part of her career. And they had really good matches and good chemistry. And the whole WrestleMania and the whole doing the thing that got cut out. The DVD and shit, which is bullshit. Yeah, but
I'll tell you, that lesbian storyline really got me interested in porn.
I became a Mistletoe fan after that one. But
are these going to be shorts?
I have no idea. You're not even wearing shorts. He's buck naked under that shirt.
Oh God.
Let's give this match a rating. Out of 5, I would go.
Eric doesn't deserve to see my jabberjaw.
I thought this was kind of weak. I thought Trish and Alicia kind of got to do Trish and Alicia. I thought Trish and Lena got to do their hits. But there was a lot of untimed shit by Alicia Fox. I think she kind of messed this match up a lot. Mickey tried her best to really save it, but I'm going to give this a 1.8.
I'm going to say 2.
I'm going to say 2. So thumbs down.
Yeah.
I say double thumbs down.
We're going thumbs down.
You think I could time that for every bad match on this show?
What's the next match, Baldy?
A battle royal for a future title opportunity.
Oh, and this was one that was very let's throw together all the matches we don't have. And it was cool to see Ivory in Alundra Braze, even though Alundra Braze was all over this fucking show. She was in every advertisement commercial. Alundra Braze was everywhere. And it's like, oh, you forgot about throwing the belt in the trash, huh? But she was in the match. Ivory was in the match. Molly Holly. There was a lot of cool legends. My wife, Kelly. She just doesn't.
Who got eliminated second, by the way?
Hey, easy. But we had a lot of cool cool
You
talent.
can't forget the Iconics.
Yeah, who were annoying as fuck in the promo, but I think did their job well, and I think
Yeah, they did.
that was kind of, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. This is good stuff. And yes, it's annoying, but it's supposed to be annoying. They're annoying heels. And I thought the people that stuck out like sore thumbs was like Asuka, because it's like, how the hell did Asuka not have a match at the time? She was so hot around this time.
Yeah, and
she's a former Royal Rumble winner that year.
Yeah, and she was already a world champion by this point, right?
well, in NXT, she hadn't won. She would win the SmackDown Women's title a couple months from this point.
Okay, but yeah, she was kind of like, why isn't she wrestling and something other? Because this kind of felt like this was for Eric, at the beginning, this is everybody gets on the card. This is all right. Let's throw and it feels like, and no offense to the women, but the Royal Rumble have really exposed this. We've seen a lot of Kelly and Molly Holly and stuff like that, and a lot of the same. And it's just because there isn't the same well that there is with the dudes, because they haven't built on that legacy like they have the dudes until recently. So they don't have that well to pick from. They have kind of the same old names. And as much as I like seeing Kelly and stuff, it's just we see it a lot now.
And you're not going to see a lot of like the old guys from like the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era come back, because as soon as a lot of those guys got released, they all did shoot interviews where they talk shit about the company.
Yeah, but I never thought I started popping as a Ruthless Aggression kid that grew up in that era. When I saw Carlito show up at the Rumble that time, and when MVP showed up and shit, and when they get introduced as characters again, it's like, oh fuck yeah! Like now the legends from my kind of past.
Well, Carlito, when Carlito originally came back for that Royal Rumble in 2021, he was coming back. He was going to try out to be a producer.
He was jacked, by the way.
Yeah. He was going to try out to be a producer, but Molly Holly ended up getting the producer job.
That's a dude with the greatest attitude of all. He's the ultimate definition of.
He's just like, all right, yeah, cool. It didn't work out. By the way, I won the world title on my father's promotion, so I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah, and he's
my father. He has to pay me.
Yeah, and he takes everything with a great attitude, everything with a grain of salt. Yeah. Even his tweet, like R-Truth played that whole thing perfectly, and I'm glad he got what he got, and I'm glad that he's back. But that whole thing, in hindsight, it feels kind of strategic, and it feels like he's he kind of was like, I know what I'm going to do here in this, like how they're going to get rid of me, like using the word released. Like there is a couple things, and nothing against him. I love the approach, and I'm glad he did it, and I'm glad he started that movement. But I love Carlito's approach as well of hey, I stole money from the company working there anyway. It's about time they got like that's fucking hilarious. And the fact that he hops on Busted Open. And he's like, hey, I made the most of my 2 years. It went a lot better than I thought it would go. I knew I would start out hot and get a pop, but I thought they wouldn't do anything with me because I'm old. And I actually got to like be a part of kind of big programs and stuff and do some shit. And he was. And like people still talk about the looks pretty hard to me moment. So like he's had a lot of like his little quippy stuff in the Judgment Day gave him a new life and a nuance on his character, which I think is awesome. And then Carlito has kind of a legacy now. Like we could do an episode on Carlito one day because there's enough on that career, even if you go back to like 2004 and on. And even though there's a gap between that, he's had a lot of stuff and a lot of work. And I'm glad he got this little twilight. And I know you're not an MVP fan, but as a Ruthless Aggression fan, seeing him show up was like, fuck yeah. And the fact that he's back in the business doing his thing. And he's some of the best stuff on AEW. But let's get back to the ladies. And what's the second? The Battle Royal. I would give the Battle Royal. I thought it went a little long. I hated the dancing segment with Ivory and yeah,
that was kind of cheesy.
Mrs. Graves. It went a little long, but there was the ending. It was one of those Battle Royals where you got to two really good women at the end.
Yeah,
and then they wrestled their asses off. And tell the folks who the final two were.
Ember Moon and Nia Jax, and Nia Jax ends up winning it because they wanted to run back Nia and Ronda. Because if you like think about it, Nia and Ronda, because Nia is the one woman that Ronda could not hurt.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I do too. Just keep keep being on the men there, Kenny.
Keep that ticker happy.
Yeah. Eat healthy.
Hi, Kenny.
Make mom make you some healthy meals.
You can't see Nia Jax naked at this time.
Yeah. But like Nia Jax could not be bullied around by Ronda Rousey.
Well, yeah, she couldn't injure like she did Alexa. Yeah, she was, and it's like that big MMA thing, and like she's a badass. She's kind of got that reputation. Nia Jax seems like the perfect opponent anyway.
Yeah,
that's who you put her up against. Even if the matches are so, that's kind of the opponent. You let her try to pick her up a few times and do some power moves, and you make a cool little match out of it. And I didn't mind Nia winning. The babyface stuff was weird, and it was seen, especially because I'm so used to her now. And I do think currently she's, like you said, one of the best heels on SmackDown. But she smiling here, and I did it for my family, and I'm so happy. And it's like I'm used to her now, like fuck you all, I'm the queen. Like she was very happy and very babyfacey, and it was very. And I know she would turn the next night, right?
Yeah.
But she was, and I like the end when she's like, but both, what'd she say?
She's like, good luck to both of you, but remember, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, it was a lot cooler than that. But yeah. Enjoy it because it's not going to last long, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a fine battle royal. I would give it a 2-3.
I would say 2-1.
I'll give it a 2-5.
So he's a thumb in the middle because of course he's Eric. That's our first thumb in the middle. So he wouldn't. It's not that you would or wouldn't recommend this match. You feel on it.
Yeah.
Where me and Doug just wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. He's just like, yeah,
exactly.
Like I know I'm supposed to go thumbs up or thumbs down, but
to me the ones are terrible. So this
I gotta be a difficult bitch, so I gotta go thumbs in the middle.
The ones are bad, so to me this wasn't a bad match. It's just not something I would recommend. But what do we have up next? Big Dutchy Love.
Tony Storm and
bored.
Huh? Your screen froze. Who cares? Tony Storm and Io Shirai in the Mae Young Classic final.
Did I cut out?
You're back now, I think. This is perfect because watching this match now, Io Shirai, or who is Io Sky now, who is your Raw or the World Heavyweight Champion on Raw,
yeah,
for the women, and you have Tony Storm, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, and both of these women went on great nuclear journeys and became stars in different promotions, and Io stayed with WWE, but Tony's been the best thing going on AEW for a long time.
Yeah,
men or women.
Yep.
She's one of the best things on that show. Tony Storm's awesome. So they have both elevated, and this is a great match, and this is one of the best matches on the card, honestly. It's not my favorite match, but it is one of the best matches on the card. And I do think that these two, put on a badass performance. But seeing, a younger, and they both look so young now, considering, years later. But even though it's weird to think this wasn't that long ago, but it is technically. And this is a badass.
Well, Tony
match.
was only what at the time? 21, 22?
I think so. And
they put
and they put on a great performance. And they are both honed, professional, awesome, like great wrestlers now. I mean, legit amazing wrestlers now. Big money main event.
Both world champions.
Yes. Yeah. So it's cool, and that's what's fun about going back. It's seeing some of these people's stock that didn't quite, like seeing an Alex Riley on that Money in the Bank, the one, and then seeing like Tony Storm and Io Sky go at it. It's like, oh shit, they both go on to kind of run the business.
Yep.
I know Io's in the bigger promotion, but Tony's still doing amazing shit. So gotta give her.
And then you have Rhea Ripley in the audience,
in the crowd, yeah, with Tay Conti or Tay Mello.
Tay Mello. Yep. Tegan Knox was in the crowd. On the other side, you had Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae in the crowd, along with Jessamine Duke and another piece of dog shit, Marina Shafir.
Who would show up later?
Ugh.
This match I thought was one of the better things on the card. I would give this a 4.
I'm going to say 3-8, so I'm also going to thumb it up.
Big thumbs up from me. I recommend this match.
Thumbs
Go
up
back
for
and
me.
watch
4.
this.
I'm giving it a 4 too.
Yeah, no, it was a really good match, and I liked when they did the Mae Young Classic and they had like the episodes come out. And
Yeah.
now the first year they did it with JR and Lita, it was JR and Lita had no chemistry because Lita was an okay commentator, but not really, and JR was just like he was still trying to get over the tragic passing of his wife.
Yeah. This one was this match. The end of it was insane. What Triple H said, they have the bouquet with Stephanie and the flowers, and they give him a big hug and everything. And it's funny, he hugs Tony, and then he hugs EO, and he's like, "Don't worry, we're gonna make you a champion. We're getting rid of Tony. Fuck Tony."
Yeah.
But
we're gonna make Tony. We're gonna make Tony. Regret being in the business because we're gonna put her against Charlotte. And don't worry, we're gonna push you.
Did Tony's contract run out, or did they release her?
No, she quit.
She quit.
Oh, okay.
She quit because she got tired of working with Charlotte. Because she realized what a lot of fans realize is that Charlotte Flair is a no good bitch. So, and she's just like, I don't have to put up with this shit.
I would get What's next?
The next match.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
the Riot Squad versus Natalia, Bailey, and Sasha.
And this was a cool thing to get Bailey and Sasha on the card, and I'm glad Natalia got to be a part of something and not just the Battle Royal, because she is influential for the women.
I mean, if they have a Battle Royal on this show, she's probably going to be in it.
Yes. The Riot Squad, was a good, and it's funny watching it. And like I said, different people's stocks. Valhalla, Sarah Logan just got released. Ruby Riot is Ruby Soho in AEW, and Liv Morgan's lighting the world on fire, even though she just got injured. But she's one of the biggest stars in women's wrestling.
Now, and the thing is that Ruby Soho hasn't been on TV in a couple of years, but that's also because her and Cool Hand Ange Parker, recently welcomed a child into the world. So she's been, being a mom, which, by the way, nothing wrong with that, even though Jim Cornette says, if you're in the goddamn wrestling business, you should not get pregnant. Motherfucker.
Mr. Cheese, motherfucker.
Women wrestlers should not be having sex unless it's with each other in the locker room.
Motherfucker.
So, I mean, he thinks all women wrestlers should just be lesbians.
Who doesn't?
Well, I mean, it's a cool mental picture. Well, actually, no, I don't know. I don't know if you want. I don't know if you want Nia Jax and Tamina slapping hands. Okay.
Did you say slapping hams?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that going to be?
Eric, shut up about the shorts. All right.
Eric's dying.
We'll make it a short. Don't worry. Slapping hams is hilarious.
That should be a shirt.
It's a shirt and a short.
Thanks, Doug.
This match was pretty good. Bailey and Sasha have great chemistry, and it was great seeing them out there. And they were having a lot of fun. Overall, I would give it a 2-6.
Really? I'd say 3-3.
They beat each other up
3.
pretty good. There was some good moves in it, but I give it a slight thumbs up, 2-6.
I'll go up a little slighter. Hey, what
and it is weird to see, as we know her as Monet in AEW now.
Yeah, well,
seeing her in here.
Yeah, but it was right for her to be part of that first pay-per-view. Even though a lot of people call a lot of people call her overrated now. I am not one of those people. I just think that like her booking overhyped. Like they should do better with her.
Who?
Mercedes.
Monet.
But the fact that they're going to put her,
she's fucking gold. She's like Goldberg. She's undefeated. What do you mean her booking could be better? She hasn't lost a fucking match.
I said what I said.
She just won the CML women's title.
Yeah, she's got every belt in the fucking world that weighs her little ass down. She's going for the world title in Texas in the stadium. How the fuck has she been booked bad?
Well, I mean, her promos have been booked bad.
I don't agree. I think she does.
Her promos are okay.
I think she's great, and everybody are just, hey, Taz.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that she's wrestling Tony. That's one of those things that
that's a big fight for you.
Yeah.
Did they ever fight in WWE?
Sasha was technically part of that of the triple threat matches that they were taking around the loop when Tony quit because Sasha actually got hurt and had to drop out. So Tony was just like, all right, if Sasha gets to go home, why the fuck can't I? And it's like, well, she kind of broke her foot.
Each other.
She's like, I'm outie, bitch.
Yeah.
And they basically left the same way, too.
Well, Tony just basically said, hey, I'm done. Like, because her deal, I think, was coming up anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mercedes was more, I want to do a match for the women's tag team titles. And it's like, and you're talking to the guy who could fucking care less about the women's tag titles than Vince McMahon. It's just like, you're going over. You're going to get a title shot. What the fuck are you bitching about?
Yeah, but I heard he was a dick to her too. We don't know the full situation.
Oh, I'm sure he was a dick. I'm just saying that, like, that, she wanted something because she wanted to elevate the women's tag titles. Vince wanted to elevate those titles as high as a toilet could go, and then throw them in the toilet.
Well, who doesn't like a good toilet?
People at work. But like, she had a plan for the titles that nobody gave a shit about.
All right, what's the next match? It's Shayna and Kyrie, right?
Yeah, which this match was heading into all-time classic territory, but Marina Shafir, like, WWE needs to burn in hell for introducing that bitch on the television.
You have such a beef with her.
Yeah, they ruined this match.
Fucking guts.
They ruined this match with all the interference.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best match on the card still. And I thought Kyrie was a fiery baby face who fought her little ass off and was a great underdog. And I thought Shayna did great in the ring at picking the body parts, and she was like a Pete Dunne going after the limbs. And I thought they had great chemistry and they told a great story. I thought that I understand that the interference might take you out of it a little bit, but it just makes Kyrie look stronger because Shayna had to cheat. I know, but we barely even saw Marina's face because her hair was so long. Now she kind of slicks it back so you see her. But
makes penises shrivel all over the world.
I love this match. I thought both girls worked their asses off. And as a Kyrie Sane fan, this is one that you got to go back and watch.
Yeah,
like
it was a fantastic match.
It was crazy. She was elevated more than Io Shirai at the time.
Yeah.
Io was doing the Mae Young Classic thing, and she was already NXT Women's Champion. And now she's kind of Io's lackey a little bit. But she's awesome in her own right. And she handled the live injury hilariously. It was funny watching her dance in the ring.
Yeah.
But I thought this match was great. I'm giving it a 4-7, best match on the card.
I'm going to say 4-3. So
I'm going to stick to 4. Double thumbs up.
He got me in the jabberjaw.
I can't decide between this one and the other one I gave 4. So,
But like,
I like them both.
But yeah, it was a good match. Again, Marina Shafir, WWE burn in hell for introducing her. AEW can burn in hell for keeping her. And Roderick Strong, you can burn in hell for making her relevant for marrying her and keeping her in the wrestling business.
They're married.
Yeah.
You should have said for fucking her. That would have been a perfect cap off to that.
Yeah. So
next time. You did good, pal.
Thanks.
Becky and Charlotte.
Last woman standing.
This match and a last man standing match, we've talked about it. It can be a really fun stipulation. It's not in my top 5 favorites. There are stipulations I like better than this because I do get because it feels like it's a lot of, ooh, I hit him in the head. Ref, count it. 1, 2. He's up. Oh, I hit him again. Ref, count it. 1, 2. There's a lot of that sometimes. I think these women beat the shit out of each other. I think it was very brutal. I think you've heard the stories of them not liking each other that much in real life, and this is, you believe it watching this. They were working stiff and they were working badass. I thought Becky, this has really showed you the star power of her. Like we said, Charlotte's the babyface and Becky's the heel, but Becky was getting all the love and Charlotte was getting all the boos.
Yeah.
But it kind of worked for this match. It didn't take me out of it because it felt like Charlotte started healing a little bit. It felt like they adapted to it. And Charlotte started healing a bit and Becky started babyfacing. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I don't think it was the best. Like I said, the last match was the best match on the card. So I give this one the 4-4. But it was a damn good match.
I'm going to give it a 4. And the reason why Becky and Charlotte, even though, they don't like each other now. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, Becky called Charlotte plastic, which, by the way, was just part of a promo. But Charlotte took it personal because, Flairs take a lot of things personal. And it's just their nature. And Charlotte, has been badmouthed a lot, especially by myself, for being Ric Flair's daughter. Which, by the way, she can't help it that Rick and his wife at the time, Beth, decided to keep Charlotte instead of doing the best thing for her, which would have been drop her off at a fire station. Because, if Charlotte would have had different parents, she wouldn't be as hated as she is today. But Charlotte, took what Becky said at the time personal. But it's also just like, Charlotte, your boobs got bigger. Like, and they are technically made of.
All right, dude. I don't even know where this is fucking going. This match.
Neither do I. I'm making.
What'd you think of it, Eric?
I'm making it up as I go along.
I loved it. I don't like Charlotte, but I'm a big Becky fan, so I like the match. It was historic because it was the first women's last man standing match. So
last woman.
For what it was, I give it a probably a 3.8.
Yeah. By the way, you cut me off before I could say that Charlotte's boobs were made of brick and mortar or something. I don't know. I had a whole joke planned, but like,
I didn't mean to stop.
Is there real beef between?
I thought you had no idea what the fuck you were doing. So
I was gonna say something like,
real beef?
Huh? Shut up.
Is there a real beef between the two of them in real life?
I don't think so. I don't think so much anymore.
Okay.
I like how you asked him, huh? And then you told him to shut up.
Yeah.
You asked him to talk and then told him to shut up right after. That was good.
That's what Doug does to me.
If you pick the wrong cartoon tomorrow, I'm gonna do it to you a few times.
Shut up.
It's gonna be hard tomorrow.
Yeah. Huh? When did you say, Eric? The Simpsons had the better character. Shut the fuck up.
Well, there you go.
Just as a prime example of what could happen tomorrow. We don't know if it's gonna or not because this one's actually gonna be live.
Did you give your rating, baby cakes? Not you.
Oh,
3-8.
I am
Slightly
offended.
under the other.
I know what you gave it.
Slightly under the other two. So, but those are the three best
Imagine
matches
you
on
were
the card.
baby cakes.
A little bit, yeah.
All right. Main event time, baby. Big fight field. Nash Goldberg, Nikki Bella, Ronda Rousey, Hogan Andre.
I mean, Nikki Bella is as selfish as Kevin Nash, so. And Ronda Rousey hurt people like Goldberg.
These aren't two of my favorite people. I thought this wasn't bad. I thought Nikki Bella worked her ass off and really tried to get Ronda over.
The Brie getting involved numerous times. You know, Brie Bella kind of seems like the all-American girl. You know, she's married to Bryan Danielson, who's beloved, and all that. And why did you just tickle my thigh? But
yeah, Eric.
But like, you know, Bryan Danielson's beloved and all that. But Brie Bella is such a good heel with her sister.
Yeah.
Because it's just like they need each other to survive.
Yeah.
But if you notice, Brie interferes in Nikki's matches more than Nikki interferes in Brie's matches.
Yeah.
So you could tell who, you know, who the more selfish one is.
Nikki's a way better wrestler, though, and Bree sucks. Bree's one of the worst people I've seen in the ring, and Nikki can put on a good match.
And she did, because she tried her best with Ronda.
And the Bree stuff worked because this match actually told a good story of Nikki was getting embarrassed by Ronda at the beginning, and Nikki couldn't really go with her in the ring, so she would need to resort to Bree getting in the way and shit so they could push Ronda into the post and stuff like that and capitalize on moments. And I thought that story really worked within the match. And she was trying her best to get past this animal that she knows can rip her head off. And then eventually there was nothing she could do, and Ronda beat her. I think Ronda was a little sloppy to pull off the story expertly, but I still think this match told a pretty good story, and Nikki Bella actually worked her ass off to make that story. I'm going to give it a 2-8 and actually recommend this match.
I'm going to say 2-7 because I would recommend it a little bit. I mean, Nikki Bella, I mean, say what you want to about her personal life. You know, I could say what I think by sticking my thumb up. I could use Hacksaw Jim Duggan's catchphrase. I will not do that. But you know, as far as Nikki Bella personally, not a fan. Nikki Bella in the ring is very good. Like, she did not need to blowjob her way up to the top to you know, get what she is, because she is a damn fine athlete.
That's the craziest compliment I've ever heard in my life. She didn't need to blow her way to the top. Yeah,
she didn't.
I don't think, you know, some people don't think she did.
Come on.
This was a good match, and what do you give it, Eric?
I think one of our co-hosts, Mr. Cliff Reigns, would disagree because he is a big Nikki fan.
Cliff Bella, he would give it a 10 out of 5.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a jerk and gonna give it a 1.5. Sorry, Cliff.
What do you have against women? Like, I should really be the one to ask that, but
he gave it a 1.5.
Yeah, I don't have anything against women.
So your thumbs down, you won't recommend it.
Nope.
He hates it. All right.
Yeah, he's very critical against women unless he works for them, and then he just lays down.
And then
yeah.
This was the only match I kind of shit on.
Okay.
We haven't talked about Jey Uso yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, by the way, Jey Uso and Eric are not related because Eric spelled Uso wrong. So
yeah, but Jey Uso and Eric are related.
Yeah.
I did spell it wrong, didn't I?
All right, gentlemen, the pay-per-view 1 out of 10. Next week, we will be doing the tag team rankings. Oh, that's right. we will be doing the tag team rankings. We're going to be talking about the best and worst tag teams in the history of wrestling. We're going to talk about an underappreciated art in this beautiful world of wrestling that we love. And tag team wrestling is some of our favorite stuff. So we're going to talk about the best tag teams of all time and rank it based on our criteria.
Ooh.
So we will see everybody next week for that. But what's your final thoughts and what do you rate this pay-per-view?
I'm going to give it a 7-4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a... Oh. Go ahead, Doug. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, I give it a 7-4. I felt like it was a really good first outing for the first women's pay-per-view. You say what you want, and, well, technically I can't because I'll get us canceled about a lot of these women. But they really did, the majority of them really did put the work in.
Yeah. They all worked hard.
Yeah.
And they put on a good show.
Yeah.
What'd you give it?
7-4.
Out of 10? All right,
Yeah.
Eric?
No, out of 15.
I give it an 8, despite me shitting on the main event. I thought a lot of women worked hard, and it was a 3-4 match show, so I give it an 8 out of 10 for their very first show.
Eric
They
loved
did
it.
a nice job. They did a nice job,
All right.
even though the main event sucked.
Well, I mean, you can't win them all.
I would give it me. All right?
Yeah.
I would give it
You.
me.
You.
Me.
Yeah, you.
Eric? Me.
Yep.
I would give
I'm
it.
gonna guess.
What?
I'm gonna guess a 9.
I'm not giving it a 9. No fucking way. I would give. You farted on my head. I would give, no, that begs the question: why was my head not
That's
his
gonna be
head?
a short.
but still,
It's gonna be a short now.
I would give this match a 7-9 out of 10. I thought it was very good. This match, this pay-per-view, PLE, whatever the fuck. I would give these broads wrestling a 7.9 out of 10. I thought it was very good. Start to finish. I do think the beginning kind of blew, and then it picked up in quality as it went on. And I don't mind a pay-per-view that does that. It didn't go too long.
Yep.
I thought the main event tried its best, and there was some good gems in there, like the Kyrie Shayna match, which I highly recommend, and the last woman's saying as well. So there's things I like about this, things I don't. 7-9. Everybody check out next week. We'll be doing the tag teams. We're going to be doing the rankings. Check out the Dizzleverse, the streaming.
Yep.
Hummer's been streaming video games. Check me out playing Nintendo Switch or Mario Kart or Red Dead or WWE. I've been talking wrestling on there too, so come visit me over there. And Doug, tell them about some cartoons.
All right. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. For those of you that tell Eric that you miss me, that's where you can see me. Because I'm pretty sure you turned off this show halfway through. But tomorrow, the second semifinal matchup, the winner faces Pokemon in the finals next week. I'm still because of the fact that Pokemon is in the finals next week. I'm still evaluating whether or not I should dump all 3 of my co-hosts. But I think I'm sticking with them because I can't find anybody else. It is Batman.
So.
No problem. I aim the bar as low as possible. But tomorrow it is Batman the Animated Series versus The Simpsons. Batman the Animated Series, the number 1 seed. The Simpsons were the 13th seed. So, we'll see what happens there. And also tomorrow we will start drafting teams or drafting divisions for the Animated Anarchy series. We're going to try to get a couple in. And we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to work on the wheel tomorrow. God, I'm probably going to have to start working on the wheel at like 5:30, 6 o'clock because I got to type in 244 names. And then, so how we're going to do that, we're going to draw the people's names out of the hat, and that's who we're going to be drafting for. We're going to spin the wheel. whatever cartoon it lands on, that's what the person gets in their division. They get four cartoons in the division. And so we're going to start that tomorrow as well, after we do Batman versus the Simpsons.
All right. And check out Money E's betting show and his sports show. Check out Eric talk about the sports. There's nobody better when it comes to sports, baby.
Thank you.
Ahead of our time. And we'll see everybody next week on the wrestling show. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Later.
See you, Fluffy Biscuit.